Boom, let's talk about it. So, today's code section, 210.23, permissible loads for multiple outlet branch circuits. This is in contrast to permissible loads to individual branch circuits. A multi-outlet branch circuit is just what it says. It's a branch circuit that has multiple outlets. And remember, an outlet does not necessarily mean a receptacle, but anywhere you can utilize that. It's mostly receptacles and lamp holders. So the first thing it says is it shall not exceed its branch circuit amp rating. And obviously, it shall not exceed its branch circuit amp rating. And then it splits it down into sections. So a 15 and 20 amp branch circuit, and this is like almost every circuit you have in a residence, in a dwelling unit. It may supply lighting loads or utilization equipment or both. So these 15 or 20 amp circuits can supply lights, they can supply receptacles, or they can supply a combination of both. And that's very common in houses, is for the lights and the receptacles to be on the same circuit. It can supply cord plug connected utilization equipment not fastened in place and shall not exceed 80% of the amp rating. So there's like a little disconnect. If you have cord and plug connected equipment that's not fastened in place, you may not know what that equipment is. So obviously, if you do know what that equipment is, if you have equipment that's not fastened in place, it shall not exceed 80% of the amp rating of that circuit. And this is real common. This 80% and the 125%, the circuit shall be rated at 125% capacity, are the same. Okay, if your equipment is fastened in place, it shall not exceed 50% of the amp rating. So if you have a set of multiple outlets or multiple receptacles, and you know which equipment is supposed to be in there, say you're building a shop and you know that you're going to put this one circuit out there. One of them is going to be a big vacuum. One of them is going to be like a dust collection system. One of them is going to be like a table saw. So any individual piece of equipment on that multi-outlet branch circuit can't draw more than 50% of the amp rating. Those are all fastened in place pieces of equipment. Cool. A 30 amp circuit. So a 30 amp circuit can supply heavy duty lighting. It can't supply the regular lighting, only the heavy duty mogul base, and that was actually in a code section we just covered. It can supply cord and plug utilization equipment that shall not exceed 80% of the amp rating. So there you go. And this is all summarized in table 210.24. 40 and 50 amp circuits may supply cooking appliances in dwelling units. And in non-dwelling units, they can do those heavy-duty lamp holders, infrared heating units, and other utilization equipment. So there you go. And then any circuit larger than 50 amps can only be for non-lighting loads. So the outlets for a 50 amp circuit cannot be for lighting. And that is 210.23. And 210.3 is summarized in table 210.24. So we will not do a video on 210.24.